Hey everybody, welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor, brought to you by his book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal, and of course his website, testosteronology.com. Yeah, see it on the wall right there? This is an entirely new branch of medicine pioneered by Dr. O'Connor. He's training other testosteronologists around the world to deal with men and our special needs as men, in the especially if you're a former AAS user, current AAS user, or just a man who wants to look and feel his best. Testosteronology, it's only for us guys. Yeah, we finally got something just for the dudes. So show me, you would just show me before we start recording, new logo. So this is the Anabolic Doc. First of all, I'm gonna try to figure out what this is. I see two, are those snakes?
Yes.
Are they like supposed to be jacked snakes? They look like pythons. And then there's like
so
two.
This is the old. This is obviously this is the YouTube channel, and the Instagram is coming. We're going to morph them together. So this is the old. Remember the old?
Yeah, I like that.
That's the old one, right?
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah. So this is the new morphed one. So this is the app that's coming out, man. The app is coming out in a couple months, where we're going to put all the media and everything's going to be for men. We're going to have a show called Man to Man. It's going to be on a new platform, uncensored.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So not YouTube.
Nope. We're going to have trailers on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some content on YouTube, but I have a bunch of coding guys. You know, we got the expert guys. You see, we stepped everything up with my production, right, for my videos. We got videographers now, IT guys. We got a doctor in training here in the United States. He'll be announced. We'll announce him. He's a 14-year veteran. He's an Army veteran. He's an emergency room doctor.
Wow.
And yeah, so we got him coming on board, and he'll be announced. Cranked, man, just cranking on just so many good guys all over the world coming under my care, from men that are just on testosterone, regular dudes, TRT. They want it done right. They want to be evaluated. They want to be protected. And then we have the old school. We just got the old school guys that are just on gear, that want to be protected. I'm coming back on the bench. You're going to see some on the back on the back. Yeah, buddy, back on the bench. Hit 375 last night, after the pec tear and everything. So about 198 right now. It's just having fun. Just showing 56 years old. Just feeling good.
Huh? Mountain biking, bench pressing.
A lot of mountain biking, a lot of good therapy. Got a sauna. We bought a sauna for 195 degrees, therapeutic sessions. Yep, all for the heart.
I'm just curious, have you ever done the freezing therapy?
No. The old school sauna, and I know there's the infrared that goes directly, lower temperature, and it infiltrates into the skin, and you get a thermogenic response. Obviously, your heart rate goes up, and it's like training. So those are good. We have the old school Finnish sauna coming that's going to 190 degrees, and then just sitting in it like boom, and just let the heart rate go up into the training zone for 15, 20 minutes at a pop, in and out. It's the hot rock sauna, built into the basement training grounds. And you just because at the end of the day, I'll do it every night before going to bed, and it's super healthy for the heart, for the endothelial for the heart. So inner wrapping of the heart, which is that's what I'm all about. Yeah. I'll come back and I might hit 405, Ron. I don't know. We'll see.
You got 500 though, didn't you?
I did 505 pounds at 198 pounds, 47 years old. I'm 56, and that was with a shirt on, but that was legitimate, in a meet, fully. That in the beginning of my videos, that's the clip.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying you should come back and get 506.
Ron, this is the Bigorexia. This is a disease. I'm living the disease, but what I've done is, so I'm humble for the disease. I live it one day at a time. It's really true. And look at me. I mean, look at me now. So it's like, so what I've done is I look at the risks. I look at the heart risks for the damage that steroids, testosterone even, and just being big can do to the heart. And I've just aggressively blocked those.
Right. So I better get into the actual topic before people get really upset with me, because you did it was more like a trailer. You did a video on your Anabolic Doc channel. It was only like 3.5 minutes long, and you were basically announcing the soon to be released video from Generation Iron, or is it out now? I don't even know.
Oh, it's been out, Ron.
Oh, it's been out.
Yeah,
Sorry, man.
that's
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
It's been out
Sorry.
about 3 weeks ago.
Sorry, Vlad. But yeah, I don't. There's been so much going on with like Olympia talk and all this, and
No, I know.
Big Ramy and whatever. So they made a video called Bigorexia, which I didn't see, so I can't comment on that. But boy, I can talk about Bigorexia. Are you? First of all, are you in this documentary?
Oh, I'm big. This is the biggest one. I'm throughout. They featured me and a patient of mine.
Oh wow! You were the primary focus of the documentary?
No. I was through the video. It's instead of having like cameos where they just pop me in these films,
Yeah.
which I'm humble for.
Sure.
They followed a bunch of people. You got to see the movie. They got the synthol guy. They have the transgender powerlifter Croc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Matt Croc, who is now
Matt. Yeah, well, it's not Matt. In full respect, it's not his name is not Matt anymore.
Formerly Matt Croc. It's
Janai.
Yeah,
Janai. I think Janai.
Yeah,
and she's incredible for how she feels and tells about. You should see the film, and how she talks about her passage and her transition through life. And so she knew she wanted to be a woman because she was trapped. And it's really true. These people feel this way. It's true. But also her genetics for musculature is so incredible. She became a world level power lifter. And I think you know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I trained with her back in the day. Actually at the Arnold, I went to Lexington Extreme in Columbus, Ohio, Westside Barbell. And there's another place called Lexington Extreme. And I went to some of the meets. I would go to the Arnold. And then in the afternoon, night, we went to some of the powerlifter parties and stuff. And with the Russians and stuff, they were warming up in the back, smoking cigars. They were like, I was like, holy shit. They were like literally smoking cigars. And then we were like, no one's going to tell the Russians they couldn't do that.
Yeah, so no smoking inside. You can't do that. You Russians.
I swear, Ron, it was just freakish. It was just free. And this is like big powerlifting meets I met him there and we trained a little bit subsequently because I know some that we share a lot of friends. And now she's, she became a woman and she got off the androgens and took estrogenic, progesterones and stuff. And then realized that she didn't like losing all that muscle. So you have to see where she is today. And you see her. I mean, it's
there's a whole documentary that's just about her.
Correct.
Called Transformer that I was watching on Netflix maybe 6 months ago. That was very interesting. Back up and talk. We should clarify what is bigorexia before we get into it. Bigorexia, the actual medical term, it's a psychiatric term in psychiatric medicine called muscle dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Which would be the flip side of anorexia nervosa, where anorexics look in the mirror and constantly see themselves as fat, even when they have a skeletal appearance to the rest of us. They look like they're on death's door, which unfortunately they are. It's a terrible, terrible condition.
I've taken care of them in the hospital.
Yeah, that has to be rough. I mean, so the flip side of that would be muscle dysmorphia instead of anorexia. I don't know do you know who came up with the term bigorexia?
All these terms are really morphed transitional terms under body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Over years and years in the American psychiatric, manuals. So I'm an internal medicine doctor, so I'm not a psychiatrist, but because I was a primary care doctor, I know a lot about psychiatric depression, mood disorders. This is real though. I
want to say it was coined by Dr. Harrison Pope, but I'm not 100% certain about that.
It might have been. He's a psychiatrist at Harvard. He's famous. He's in the world of like us, with the academics with steroid caring for steroid users properly.
So basically someone with bigorexia, muscle dysmorphia, looks in the mirror and never sees themselves as big and muscular. They always see themselves as small, skinny. They always need to be bigger. And I've gone on record many times. I'm a poster boy. I suffer from this condition big time. And I've known so many bodybuilders, and these are not big name bodybuilders. I find that the bodybuilders that you see in the magazine, well, I shouldn't say magazines, MD is the only print magazine left, but the champion bodybuilders, they tend to have less of this because they came to bodybuilding from a different place. Most of them were exceptional athletes at something else like football or wrestling, or a lot of them, as soon as they started training, they just grew like weeds. Immediately, they just blew up. Whereas myself, and I think most people who come to bodybuilding come to it from a place of insecurity where we were bullied or we felt small, we felt less than. And this was our way to try to build ourselves up so that we could become more intimidating to other males, get more respect from other males, get more sexual attention from females. But it's something that it's never enough, you know. I still look at myself in the mirror and it's like, ugh, all I see are flaws. Like that should be bigger, that should be bigger. And now, unfortunately, as I'm a little older, that should be a little smaller. But I've known so many guys. I've known men who were enormous, like I'm talking 300-pound guys, massive guys who never thought they were big enough. And I lived in LA for 10 years and I knew some of these guys, it would be 90 to 100 degrees outside. They would still wear 2 or 3 layers of sweats to look bigger because they would never put a tank top on because they felt so small. And these guys were enormous. So, I know you're not a psychiatrist, but you deal with the comprehensive everything. These guys just don't walk into your office and you say, I'm just going to check your heart. You refer them to psychiatrists whenever, but you must have encountered so much of this in your practice with former and past steroid users.
Ron, it's just so in the film they have this guy, they have one of those guys, they have a Russian woman who's just unbelievably she's that big, that huge.
Natalia Amazonka.
Yes, Amazonica or something. So
no,
they got her. They got a guy that was really obese and overweight that's now trimmed down and he's just a great dude. And he's just like, Bigorexia is great. Look what it's done for me. So because he just disregarded his obesity's. It's tough. People become obese. They don't want to be. They've dysregulated eating. So, but in my practice, Ron, today, and there's so much coming in, I'm so happy we're growing. And all these men, I mean, so Ron, you and I, let's be honest, we have what appears to be stable bigorexia, and you're taking some medicine for your heart. You're not on a lot of steroids anymore. You're cognizant that this behavior, obviously with the drug use and the eating and staying so big, is going to run its course, and you're going to get hurt and have a complication. So now, if you look for the psychiatric aspect of it, if you have a behavior that's very destructive, that's obviously going to be something that denotes disease. But how diseasing is it? This is where the whole morph, and on my video I did there, I said, come on, guys, like, it's very interesting. So competitive people, I take care of successful business people all around the world. How much did they get out of bed? They drive hard. Bodybuilding is like, drive hard, guys. Don't take a never enough. So how much of this really, this is a positive attribute, but when does it go too far? So this is right. I mean, and here you and I are can the hearts get damaged from just by being too big and too long? Forget steroids. If you're just overweight and your heart's enlarging and you're hypertensive, so, but it's true though, Ron, these are young men that I see that are you kidding? We have waiting list. It's a month long to see me, which I'm so humble for that, guys. But I finally hit it, and it's built. I just didn't start overnight. I've been doing this, Ron, for 10 years, maybe more. And I don't do primary care is completely down. I've relieved all my primary care people, women and everything. And it's been, they've been very caring to me, and there's no bad karma. I didn't transition and dump people overnight. You don't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
So I had to transition people carefully, and I think I did. And no one's pissed off at me. I don't think anyone is.
Okay.
And I do this 24/7, and I can never get enough, because what happens is I do the same thing every day, but the man changes. So I'll do three new patients a day now, 3 new a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and they all apart from the TRT guys, I have 2 divisions: testosterone replacement, anabolic recovery. Testosterone replacement is, I'm just the best doctor in the world to give testosterone to a man, because I'm an internist and no one knows how to take care of the heart better. And those are your risks. Heart, prostate, of course, too, but I'm not a urologist. I watch that. Heart. Testosterone affects the heart, guys. Shut it down. Come on, let's don't take too much. Watch blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, endothelial, heart, circulatory, red blood cells. I do it all day long. I work with doctors. Now, that's TRT. That's TRT division. The other division is my love and my love and where I came from, taking care of steroid users, because doctors have traditionally ignored them and disparaged them. Yeah. So this is changing. We have 2 articles coming out. I can't say where and when. We got the 2 peer-reviewed clinical articles in the big real peer-reviewed medical journals. It's coming out, guys. It will be announced. Give me a week or so. That's going to be published somewhere. It's the survey we worked on in the last 18 months. We've published it, and it's coming out. And it's real.
I'm going to guess one of these journals starts with New England. Am I right? Yeah, we'll see.
It's not the New England one, but that's okay. They were very respectful to us, and we have another one that's equally, probably even more appropriate. And and doctors all day long. I work and I'm talking to doctors. They send their patients to me. Primary care doctors all over Texas and California are just pipelining patients to me and calling. And thank you, doctors. I mean, I'm doing the best. I'm trying to set up CMEs, and we have a whole training division. We have an app coming. We have the brick and mortar. We're going to expand across the United States. We have an app. We have the brick and mortar doctors, and then I have an educational division, CME division company just for training physicians with educational meanings, educational documents, and we're doing that. So I'm very busy, but I created this. I'm holding up at the top, and I'm just taking care of my health too, Ron. It's very stressful, the guys that are super, businessmen and successful guys. I have some incredible people under my care. I can't say who, but amazing people that are well known in the world, and they're on TRT, right? So they end up coming to me because they want they want to see how I would protect them. And I work with their doctors, and we're very respectful to each other. So it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful time for me. A political, oh my God, we won't go into America right now.
No.
We're going to leave that alone, Ron. We're leaving that alone. America will find itself on we'll find our center sooner somehow. But, so it's, bigorexia though, Ron, is real. But it's a spectrum, Ron. There's here, I mean, the Synthol kid, he's in the movie, Ron.
The Russian kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Ron, you got to see this. You got to see this movie.
I'll see it eventually, but this is what I want to ask you about, because bigorexia cannot, it's a psychiatric condition, but because it's linked to steroid use in bodybuilders, it can definitely lead a person to use more steroids than are health. Well, there's no, beyond TRT, there is no healthy dose of steroids. Obviously, it can lead them to use dangerous amounts for never come off, and put their long-term health and their longevity at risk. These people could be dying young. So I know you have people coming to you that are still on steroids, and they just want you to take care of them. And I know you do your best to try to get them on TRT and explain to them the risks that they're taking. How often have you encountered individuals who they say, you know what, I know it's a risk. I know I'm damaging my heart. I'm probably going to die younger, but I got to be big. I don't want to live my life as a normal person or just a mildly muscular person. I need to be jacked where people look at me and go, oh my God, that guy is huge.
So that's a good question. So, I've been doing this, and thanks to you, Steve Blackman, and you with Muscular Development, I was the anabolic doc the fall of 2009.
Wow.
So it's that long ago.
11 years.
And
geez.
in the beginning of the anabolic doc career, all those guys came in, and I didn't really know what to do. Medically, I knew what to do. I was learning too, but I dealt with them with love and care and patience. I never I wasn't hold on, let me call in CVS, Dianabol and Tren. No, it's Parabolin. No, hold on, let me call the pharmacist. It's Parabolin. Come on. We want to give four, so I was working with other experts, and I was in the frontier alone for most part, how to ethically care for men that are using androgens. We didn't really know about the withdrawal syndrome so much then that we know now, right? With anabolic steroid induced hypogonadism. So these guys came in, Ron, big. I remember them, some of the pro guys, and they were scared, and obviously they were scared for their health. And and I was basically weaning them down and protecting their hearts and sending them to other doctors. And you know what happened, Ron? You know what happened to today? I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth.
What happened?
None of those guys come in anymore.
Wow. And I guess you wouldn't know because they're not your patients, but
so they don't come in. I get a random guy. When a random guy comes in that's like this, and he's also scared, I have a very good I have a very good track record of transitioning him to TRT and understanding that stay on TRT, bro, and just, do the best you can. And you know what, Ron, I will lose them we say lose to follow up. So I'll lose them out. They just won't return the calls. And then maybe an email comes in, says, tell Dr. O'Connor, I really appreciate, thank you so much. And he's gone.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. So they don't come. They don't come. I'm known as a career wrecker, unfortunately, and these guys just don't come in. They go out to the other doctors in Vegas that will just, and I'm trying not to be angry anymore. They'll go to other caregivers that will look the other way and just, or let them feel that you're okay, and we'll give you some other medicines to protect you. And I don't know. It's not what I've done. I've been more, you can't do it, man. Your heart's when you see the movie, my patients had heart failure.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait till you see the movie. This guy went into the hospital for a month. He allows me to say it because he's in the movie. His name's Jeff. Yep. And he's a great dude. And he was a big boy. He's like 6'4". He was like 300 pounds. Wow. He ended up having bilateral gluteal abscesses. The movie opens up with him in the bed, and his mom is changing his wounds in his glutes. His rear end was why he almost died from septic shock, and he was in the ICU. And he joined my practice from leaving the hospital. His wife is a doctor.
Wow.
And and he came in, and it's about 2 years ago because the movie was filmed a long time ago, right? The shoots, and he had heart failure coming out of the hospital. His ejection fraction was 35%.
Wow.
And he's only 35 years old. And I won't say any more, but he's doing great today. He popped out of it. We recovered him. Yeah. And he lives with this, and he's going to write books, and he's going to do stuff. And he's a super successful pharmaceutical sales guy or something. These are regular people. And he'll tell the story. When you watch the movie, Jeff is in there. They follow Jeff. I'm in there. There's other doctors. There's some NFL expert. You got why am I blanking on his name? The blonde Mr. Olympia guy. Your buddy there, the famous Mr. Olympia. Why am I blanking on his name?
Dorian Yates?
No, he's in his 40s now. Jay's in it. I think Jay's in it. Yeah. I don't know. My brain is kind of fried because I'm just so busy. Maybe I'm getting old.
You're forgiven.
So, but it's just incredible, Ron. It's incredible. You got to see how these guys. It's disturbing. The movie's basically kind of disturbing.
Yeah, so how often have you referred patients of yours to psychiatrists?
Oh my God, Ron, I'm working right now. I have a lot of men that have mood disorders. I have men that have legitimate manic depression, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, frank depression, anxiety, general anxiety disorders. I think I did a video on this about a month or two ago. Yeah. And I'm working with psychiatrists. See, there's an overlap of disease. People have depression, Ron. They just have it. And then steroids become involved. And it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because they love it and they feel great, but then they could it could make it extreme. And then I told you, I've been involved with, unfortunately, a number of suicides over my career. Yeah. And doctors, primary care doctors have people with depression and they commit suicide. It's sad. Drug use. There's other drug use going on for a lot of these guys. And you're right. None of these guys are pro bodybuilders have to have their shit very pulled together. You can't be a pro bodybuilder and just haphazardly. You have to have the best genetics. You have to have your shit together, which means you can't have significant mood disorder. And that poor man in the UK who either killed himself or did have heart failure, that
Luke.
Yeah. Luke. So there is an example of a man who did have underlying mood disorder, and the moons lined up in the wrong way, and He probably did kill him. It's horrible. It's terrible. So, but imagine how he could have done, because look at the genetics on that guy.
Oh, he was going to be one of the greats. There's no doubt in my mind. But the problem with bigorexia, somebody comes to you and say, maybe you're able to convince them that they're damaging their heart, and you can prove it with scans and that. And so you convince them to go down to TRT, and this guy who might be 270 pounds of muscle at 5'9" or something, in a year he's down to like 215, and he's a shadow of his former self. And I'm sure a lot of these guys, if their whole identity was wrapped up in being big and strong and being that alpha male, and now they feel like a little worm, now you're going to have to deal with depression. You're going to have to
Ron,
get them on antidepressants or something.
I saw it. Yes, you are on the money. I'm not a psychiatrist, but when you have people with anorexia, which there's more men with anorexia, and because of the social media and just kind of, I think, crossed wires in chemistry, the world is obviously with social media just whacking out, right? So that's why we got some land. We're going to Vermont. We're just like, see you later, just chill out. So basically, I mean, these guys, they do regularly. I have guys that are in recovery, and they all, hey doc, how you doing? Hey, they're just always kind of chronically. They're just in a recovery period, but they're doing it. Doc, this is the best it can be. I know it's the right thing to do for my family, and it's unreal, isn't it? It's true, but you're right. But I mean, Ron, they transition to something else. They find businesses. These are mostly, obviously, very bright guys, right? To be a bodybuilder, you have to be very bright, actually, I think.
Not all the time. But I'm saying your patients they're definitely not a representation of the general population. I'm sure they tend to be better educated, upscale, more upscale than your
I don't know.
Bear,
Not anymore. It's only $1,750 a year. It's not a lot of money. It used to be a lot more money. No, it's not true. That's not true. I have guys that are not up. I actually got rid of all the upscale guys because I couldn't stand that. That was primary care. I couldn't stand that. I couldn't take it. That was just terrible for me.
Yeah.
So concierge medicine was just a horrible thing. So now I'm a real doctor finally. So
yeah, but I mean,
these are not rich. No, but they have to pay something, Ron, but it's not. They're regular people. They're regular middle-class men.
Okay. But the bigorexia issue, I do believe that most bodybuilders, quote unquote bodybuilders, and when I say that, the champions they're a very tiny percent of this group of bodybuilders as a whole. I do believe a large percentage of us, myself included, we suffer at some point on that spectrum. We suffer from bigorexia, but it's either something we can manage and something that's not harming our life and our health, or at the extreme end, there are people who are taking mega doses. They're doing large doses of orals. They know that they have heart issues and they keep doing it anyway. And I don't know if there's any answer to it. I get a lot of heat, especially in YouTube comments, which I really should stop reading because. But they say I'm 51 years old now, and I try to be upfront and honest. Although people don't need to know every little detail about my life. But I do say, I'm not on a TRT dose. I use more than that, and at most of the year, I do add a little bit of Deca or Equipoise, or maybe a couple times a year. Summer, I'll do Tren or Masteron for a few weeks too. And they say, how could you do that? You're killing yourself. And as you said, I've been very, very fortunate. The genetics, I'm not talking about bodybuilding genetics, but my family genetics for dealing with drug abuse, which I could go into with some siblings who are with us and not with us anymore. But I've been very, very lucky not to have the type of damage you would probably expect to see with my history of steroid use. And, I don't take that for granted. I'm very grateful that I've been blessed with that, because I've had friends my age or younger that did a lot of things I did, and they're either dead or they have major health issues.
Yeah.
And they had to stop the steroids. Some of them don't even train anymore. And I've lost touch with a lot of them because they can't even deal with talking or seeing people that are in the bodybuilding industry anymore, because it hurts them to see what they used to be.
Yeah. Ron, you got it. I hope so many people see this. And the only way to get around it is, even though it's such a tough crystal ball to chew, don't do it. Don't ever start. Don't ever do it. It's a slippery slope. Isn't all this though,
Yeah.
But you are very lucky. And a lot of guys always ask the comments and stuff all the time, how come this guy is 50 something, or, and he's not, And I guess the general response is, well, he didn't do that much. Well, Dorian Yates is still alive. We're not going to put him down. But I mean, why some other guys die and they have heart failure early? I have a guy from last week in America that 30 something, he has significant heart failure right now. And he's like, Doc, I didn't even do that much. So I said, buddy, don't be yourself. It's bad luck.
Yeah. I mean,
bad luck.
It's dose dependent. It's how much you use. It's how long you use it for. Do you take breaks? Do you do other things like smoke or eat junk food? Do you take care of your health? I try to be as healthy as possible aside from steroid use. And again, I don't recommend, I'm not saying do what I do. I wouldn't say this is going to work for you. It probably won't work for you. A lot of people who did exactly what I did would be dead by now.
So bad.
By the grace of God. So, bigorexia, it is I won't say it's as deadly in its own way as anorexia, because anorexia, that's a straight shot to death if it continues unabated.
No, I agree.
But bigorexia is a more long-term thing where if you abuse steroids in your 20s and 30s, you probably won't start seeing all these adverse effects on your heart, your kidneys until 40s and 50s. But by then it's too late because the damage is done. You can't really undo all that damage.
So that's why I think the only way to get around this is to have a specialty of medicine that deals with these people as the whole man. Again, it's not just me. It's going to be teaching. So love the patient, be respectful, understand them, understand the drugs, and understand the physiology and the psychiatry, and be caring, and just lead them and do a history with a family history. You have good for heart. The guy who had heart failure, he has a primary relative who has heart failure. Boom, right there. So if he knew that, if these young guys, I see the young guys really are charged up with doing history. They're begging for my history and physical. They're begging for my techniques, which the app is going to be giving this, right? But in a digital manner and by me. So they can do it. So if you are looking at a guy and he's 20 and it looks like you're forget steroids, you're going to run into heart disease early because your dad had a heart attack in his 40s or 50s, and there's some genetics and there's all these different genetic interplays. You're apple from the tree. You're an apple from the tree. So if you could see that, you have good genes, right? I'm lucky. I have good genes for the heart and stuff too. So it's just going to be your threshold is going to you look at you are good. So and but if guys see that early with education and with introspection, right? Be introspective and look at the big picture, and maybe just chill out and maybe just don't go into steroids at all and become a mountain biker. My kid's 14. He's really into skateboarding.
Oh yeah.
So like, and skateboarding's can be pretty gnarly, as you know, and these guys have really balls. These is like really dangerous and crazy, but he wears the helmet. So, I mean, but it's safe. I don't want him doing steroids. So, or go into something else, but so many guys have said they've been introspective. They're young. And they have great guidance and direction, hopefully. And they could look down the road and go, that's awesome, man. But I just don't think so. Yeah. And they can go right. Isn't that beautiful though? You could redirect someone from a young age. I'm not saying guys like we're messed up and we fit, because you and I are same background. We have pretty good genetics and everything else strong, but we were bullied. I was beat up with my brother on the aqueduct in Westchester in the 1970s by like the neighborhood bullies. And like they put our heads down. They made us eat dog shit. Like they tried.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They the rub the dog, and that happened a couple of times. And the bully, the bully push. And I went to another school district. I was bullied again. I had the big Jewish afro, and I was pale.
It's called Jufro.
I was the Jufro, and I was beat up for that and then finally in sophomore year, testosterone was kicking in. Natural natty. I was natty. And I was getting super strong. I was just smoking cigarettes. I was a cigarette smoker till like till I was 15. And I was starting to wrestle. And I was at the local little ski lodge in Patterson, New York, little ski bump hill, Birch Hill. And he was there again with all his boys. And he was like, hey, his name is Sal. We became friends. Yeah. And he was on top. He was like, hey, you fucking Moselle, you pussy. You know, it was just like, really? And I couldn't get away, shaking like a leaf. And I just blacked out and I beat the snot out of him.
Oh, wow. That's
My
awesome.
whole life, that was the beginning of a successful life.
Yeah.
You see that? And then I went into weight more and more and more. And I went from a little pond. I was a big fish in a little pond because I was pretty strong in my high school.
Yeah.
I benched 315 when I was still 16.
That's pretty damn great.
I weighed like 167 or something.
That's
And then
very good.
You know,
Jeez.
I was a good bencher. I was a little gnarly little guy. And then I went to Syracuse with Hercules Health Club in the 80s. And then it went from a little fish from a pond to a lake, then to the river. And then I end up later on into the ocean with the biggest powerlifters in the world. Of course, I did some steroids. And that's the story. I see that. It moves like, and it's a high. And I still want that today as I'm lifting and powerlifting last night with a guy training with me. And I'm going to do a little video. I'm thinking, I'm 56 years old. I hope, is this going to hurt my mom's? I don't want my mom to see this. You know, I have the nose torque still. I have the, you ever see the horses, the horse liniment? I wear the horse liniment. I put the horse liniment on.
I'm sure I could smell it if I was around.
Yeah, buddy. This is Ronnie's. Ronnie's been into all this stuff, of course, with the horse liniment and the pneumonia, and he's a power lifter. So, and just the high, and just, you got the old school Motley Crue on and this Black Sabbath. And it's just like, you go back to a place, where it's like the aromatherapy because you're smelling it and you're in. And I was last night and I was just like, man, this is just, I got to be careful, so look at that.
Yeah. So
that's bigorexia.
Well, I want to talk to the guys out there who, I think a lot of it comes from comparing yourself to the genetic elite. And in bodybuilding, it's always been that way. You look at, and the magazines have been guilty of it for decades and decades. We're saying, get arms like Arnold, get legs like Platts. You're not going to get legs like Platts, guys. I don't care what you do. You're not going to get arms like Arnold no matter what you do. And I think that's led a lot of guys down that path, is they never feel like they're big enough because they're comparing themselves to, I say this all the time, and it's kind of disrespectful to them, but I feel like these guys are almost, these men and women, they're almost another species. They're something beyond human. Yeah. Their muscles, the way their muscles are attached and the muscle cells and shape, it's something that 99.99% of the human population can't even relate to physically. It's like somebody who's 7'5". There's not many people in the world that are, well, let's say 7 foot. There's not many 7 foot people in the world, but they are out there. There's not many people who look like Ronnie Coleman, but there are a few of them out there. And to be a regular person and aspire to look like one of these people, you're doomed to failure. You're never going to look like that. And you could spend 20, 30 years of your life juicing your brains out, destroying your internal organs, losing your hair, losing careers, losing family, losing relationships, because all you cared about, you were obsessed with getting bigger and bigger, and it was never enough.
Ron,
man,
it's unbelievable.
I'm talking to myself here.
You just nailed it. Guys living in hotels. Remember, you were in LA, so you know this better than me.
They lived in their cars.
Come on, Ron.
Yeah, they lived in their cars.
And so many guys have destroyed relationships. So when you start breaking that, that's where the bigorexia has the overlap into any psychiatric disease, where you're just so dysfunctional. Is it destroying, the checkbox? Do you obsess on it? You have ruminating obsessive thoughts. Can you not get enough? Is it destroying your life? Have you destroyed? I mean, will you, sell anything to, for protein powder and steroids, and do all your decisions during the day or the week or the month or the year work around, it has to fit into my training. It has to fit into my eating. So that's it. So, but again, there's some positive stuff on that. There's stuff. I don't drink. None of the, when you do the social history, it's so amazing. I almost say to every guy, I say, let's see, social history. So what do you do for a living? Occupationally, married, whatever have you. And I say, let's see, you don't smoke cigarettes. Maybe you socially drink, no drug use. Maybe they smoke a little marijuana or something. And then it's just like, these guys they just like steroids.
Yeah.
And this is amazing. And there are countless millions and with social media, and that's why I love you guys are listening now. It's like,
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to be the old man, me and you, the old man, you guys did it. And of course, you know, we're still here, and we're hopefully, Ron, will be here in our 60s and 70s. And yeah, it'll be great that we're feeling pretty good and we're strong, and but everything's about the heart.
Yeah.
But it's all the edge. People want to take things to the edge and run right on the edge. That's the adrenaline of anything, right on the edge. I want to take it. I did it right. I did my research. I did it right. I want to go right to the edge, and I want to, but I don't want to get, who wants to be in heart failure or have any kind of, and the only guy in the world that is so humble and has such a perspective on it is Ronnie, because he seems to be always happy, and he's suffered like there's no tomorrow, but he's always, hey guys, you know, yeah, buddy. But that's, again, that's Ronnie Coleman. He's lived a life of the most incredible highs, elation, and he's so humble. Other guys crash and burn, and I'm sure down deep in his heart, Ronnie's really sad.
Yeah. So, you know, if I could say anything to help the others out there suffering from bigorexia, because I do suffer from it myself, it's, please, guys, don't compare yourself to the genetic elite. Don't look in the mirror and see if people give you compliments, tell you look great, you look big. Don't say, yeah, no, I don't. Take the compliment. Don't say, no, I don't. I don't look like Ronnie. I don't look like Phil Heath. No, you don't. But you know what? You look better than you used to look. Compare yourself to your previous best. And, you know, it's
awesome.
There is more to life. You know, I sound like a hypocrite saying that, but there is more to life than being big and muscular. You need to have a balanced life. Don't let it ruin your life and run your life. You know, try to see the big picture and how
with that,
it is in the big picture of this whole world we're in.
Train against your, you know, the powerlifting world, which I found to be, you know, less toxic in the bodybuilding. I'm sorry.
No,
it's like you're training against yourself. You want to get a PR. You want to, you know, you're going to get a PR on the bench, the squat, deadlift for yourself to better yourself. And you're competing against yourself, and people feel beautiful and so great. CrossFit, that's kind of CrossFit, right? So that's beautiful. Yeah. And they try to do it to be healthy. And then as you're doing it, try to kind of forcefully, introspectively look at, what are you good at? Are you an artist? Are you a writer? Are you like to work outside? And I have linemen, you know, I have a lot of these, I just popped in my head. I have all these linemen in the country that work on, you know, they're electrical line, you know what that is, right? They work on
way up in there.
Yeah. And I have, and like, I don't know, just one guy comes to mind where he's just like so humble, and he's a steroid user, and he's on TRT now, and he's strong, and he's in his like early 40s. And he's like, you know, Doc, I breathe the fresh air, and I'm up doing what I do. It's pretty dangerous. He makes pretty good money. He's very proud during the pandemic that he's had a lot of respect, because this guy's needed. Virginia, Ohio, all over, you know, the whole country. I have these guys, and he has his coffee. He feels great, man. He tells everyone that he's on TRT and he feels great. And he's like, watch the heart, watch your prostate, get a doctor. You know, of course, he loves me. And it's like, so he's like, I'm focusing on my career like I've never, because he's realized that, and this guy does look good. He was actually a boxer. I don't want to say more. It's an amazing guy, African-American guy. And he's focused on his career, and he's one of the best, but he's never a dick. He's very humble. He trains the guys that are younger. He's really fully evolved. He's fully living, you know, he's maturing, and he's like, I can let that shit go. And he has a family. He's happy, and he's humble. That don't think, he goes, I just don't think, I don't go there. I know not to go there. Watch the triggers. Isn't it? It's just, it really, and so like, that's positive. So if what a great example. I just thought of that one man of so many. Just like, so I focus on what I do because I'm the anabolic doc, so I don't have to be the strongest guy in the world anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I mean,
find your thing, man. Yeah. You're Ron Harris, right? This is what you do. So you're the editor there, and you're the man. But you see, guys, if they don't find something to supplant, we are competitive. So you have to be the best you can at what you are. Find your inherent talents and work on those, and you'll be obsessed with that maybe, and balance it, right, Ron? And no one's perfect. No. And bigorexia, yeah, buddy.
Well, Doc, thank you so much. Now I don't have to watch a documentary. You told me everything I need to know. No, just kidding. So that'll be out. That's out now. Generation Iron put out Bigorexia. Dr. Thomas O'Connor featured prominently in it. I will check it out for sure.
I'm one of the guys, and they featured me more than I just like, I think, the 5th movie with them, and instead of having little snippets, I really love them for that. Of course. I mean, why wouldn't I? Of course, it was great. But they're featuring this, and it's not the biggest movie in the world because a lot of people put a lot of hate. What are you doing this? You showing this? Why you show? They did a great job the way they presented these. They ran 5 people through the thing. I mean, it's super. You're on the edge of the seat. It's never, and their cinematography. They're very good at that.
They're excellent. They're excellent.
That's
never say a bad thing.
You're never bored. You're never bored. It's just awe draw. It's an awe. Your mouth, and they bounce from one to the other, and it's like they're running these different people the whole time, and wow, man. So, but we're gonna have more of it though. It is what it is, guys. Never hate yourself and don't get down on yourself, and just everyone's got something. My mom told me, son, never be envious. Everyone's got something.
It's true. We were all given some gift. You just have to figure it out and put your time and energy into that, and you'll be a happier person for it. So testosteronology.com, everybody. That's where you can check out everything the doctor has to offer. He does telemedicine for patients all around the world. You don't have to be in Connecticut or Florida. You could be in Abu Dhabi or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have seen like 3 patients a week, and because I don't want to get this virus. I don't want this. No. I don't want this, and I want it to go away. I'm not going to go into the politics of it, because I do calcium scores for guys, and I wasn't sure if the thing was very real. I was like, how real is this? And I saw a calcium score, maybe 2 of these now, over 100, maybe 100 guys or so, and one guy had bilateral infiltrated opacities and ground glass, it's called, and I go, what? To my nurse, I go, what is it? Holy shit, I got to talk to this guy. And he goes, oh, he had COVID. Like he was like recovering from COVID. And that's what it looks like. And the new doctor that's coming for me is an emergency room doctor. And he goes, Doc, look, I'm not going to go into the politics. He goes, the number is maybe 1 out of 1,000 for young people. Yeah. If you're old and if you're obese or something, that you have to just stay home. Yeah. But it's definitely, I don't think it's worth the whole thing destroying the economy either, guys. No. Okay, so I'm in the middle, wear the mask, whatever. But in the end of the day, I saw it. So this is a weird thing. So that's why it's like, I love telemedicine. I coordinate with your doctors all over the world. It's working phenomenal. I don't feel comfortable with something, I don't take the guy. But telemedicine is now in the forefront. Everyone's using, all primary care, any doctor except for surgeons are using they're using this telemedicine. It's been a beautiful effect, Ron. There's some beautiful things, of course, in any aspect of suffering. There's always some benefit somewhere. Right. So that's it, guys. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you, doctor. So check out his, you still have the YouTube channel, Anabolic Doc. Yes, of course.
It's cranking. That's cranking.
Yeah. So check out all the videos. Doctor drops 1 or 2 great videos every week on Anabolic Doc on YouTube. And of course, testosteronology.com to learn all about this new branch of medicine just for us dudes.
We're looking for doctors. I'm looking for doctors, training doctors now. We got the applications coming in. You'll see 4 doctors on the website, and board certified academic. This is internal medicine doctor, family medicine doctor, emergency room doctors. Those are no other doctor should apply.
Gotcha. Well, I'm none of those, so I'm shit out of luck. Anyway.
Okay. No nurse practitioners, only doctors. I do apologize. I'm not good. We have to have the cream of the crop, and full-blown academic doctors. I have to browbeat the crap out of them, and that's what it has to be.
Yeah. Well, continued success with that. Thanks for taking the time, doctor. Appreciate it very much. Another great conversation. Love talking to you. That's it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Ask the Anabolic Doc. We'll see you next time.